What if I told you that nothing of today's video is going to come from this book because spells are ideologies that either entrap you or help you grow and succeed, and they're just words like prayers. Oh, mind blown! Hello lovies, welcome back to another video. My name's Hetero. I'm your local theologian, actress, model, whatever, to quote Suki Waterhouse. I thought, building off of last week's video, how to be a wizard, I would teach you how to cast and break spells, because spells are, like I said, theologically by definition, the same as a prayer. They're just words, and their secondary definition would be they are ideologies in which dictate how your life is lived and what manifests in your reality. So let's break down some common spells that majority of people... I'm gonna break down a few spells that are commonly accepted and that I'd view to be negative, and then give you the keys on how to break them, because in short, the key to breaking any spell is just changing your ideology. Crazy. Some 5 very common spells people believe. 1, we are the only form of life, of existence. An unlimited reality, an unlimited universe, and being unlimited individuals, that's whack. That's whack to believe. If the universe is ever expanding, there is 1,000% life beyond us. We just have yet to encounter it. And we probably won't, because according to folklore, when the doppelganger enters, someone gonna die, and it's normally the predecessor. Another ideology many subscribe to is that you need a man to be successful. You need a wealthy man to succeed. You know? Oh, that's a fable. And to quote Cher, "Mother, I am a rich man." A third ideology many people believe is we don't have free will. That's crazy. I've actually had people debate me on, we don't have free will because once you make a decision, you've made it. Okay. We do, and I will get into that in a second. We do have free will. A fourth ideology many people subscribe to that is not true is that people can control you. People can do certain rituals or activities and have an effect on you. They can't, because that builds off of number 3. You have free will. What ideologies you believe and invest in will manifest physically. And the fourth spell, many people, or the fifth belief or spell that control a lot of individuals is that the devil and God don't work together. Because they most definitely do, or how else would you know what is good versus evil? And let me take it a step further. You will partake in both because you are a human, and that is the only way you experience life and grow. First things first, on the topic of free will, I would like to bring up my favorite French philosopher, Jean-Paul Sartre. Sartre lived and famously gave a speech in 1942, and it was later documented and turned into the book Existentialism Humanism. And essentially he discusses how existentialism is the greatest way to free and liberate the human spirit and learn how we are the creators of our life. Because we are. You are the creator of your reality. Whatever ideologies you invest and believe in will manifest and determine how your physical reality works and functions. If you think only negative and hatred and focus on hatred and fear, you're going to find yourself in situations and scenarios and surrounded by individuals that mirror and mimic that and multiply that ideology. But if you believe, here's my prayer for you to break that ideology. If you believe you're divinely favored, guided, provided for, and protected, you are untouchable. I need to break to bippity boppity pop boo to bippity boppity boo this false ideology. When I say spell, you think the definition of ritual. A ritual is an activity in which has a set script. A spell does not need to have a ritual to be a spell. Neither does a ritual need to entail a spell to be a ritual. Does that make sense? A ritual is just an activity that is done ceremoniously by an individual or by a community in hopes of obtaining some desired outcome. Neener boo. Going to church every Sunday and singing certain songs and doing certain things is a ritual. Yeah. But spells, like I said earlier, are by definition the same as prayer. They're just words, and they're words spoken in hopes of invoking a certain outcome or circumstance. So be careful what you pray for and what you speak. No thought leaves its source, because whatever you're praying for another, you're praying for yourself, and vice versa. So make sure what you're praying is only prayers of love, light, peace, truth, and clarity. But going back to Jean-Paul Sartre and Existentialism, Humanism, he breaks down that there are 3 stages: agony, anguish, and despair. I know that sounds terrifying. I'm going to change despair and call it acceptance, because I feel like in despair, yes, it makes sense. But anyway, I'll get there. Stage 1's agony. Stage 1, when an individual realizes that they are not responsible for others' actions and they're actually responsible for every thought and action they have, you reach agony, because you realize, oh my God, I'm only responsible for myself. That's a really scary feeling. Every thought and action I think and do and say, there's a consequence to, and that leads you to stage 2. Stage 2, abandonment, is when you realize there is no divine law. What? You have full free will. There is no divine being controlling every thought, action, and move you make and do. You are the full creator of your reality. Many would argue you're co-creator because we don't control time. Okay, bank on that. I believe that. Yes, I agree. But for the sake of keeping it real simple, you are the creator of your reality. And in abandonment, I don't think I have Jean-Paul Sartre's understanding of God not existing. God very much exists. We are an extent of God. We are co-creator. Yes, God exists, but God is not deciphering every choice we make, and our choices are not personal or isolated, but rather all choices rooted in humanity. Like I said earlier, you will both partake in good and evil because you are a human. You will be a villain in someone's story just as much as you'll be a hero in another's. And that's great, because in a world full of victims, I will gladly be the villain. It means I don't care about what other people think of me, and I really don't. It doesn't affect how I live if someone hates me. Okay, cool. Hate me from afar. I send you love and light. I'm so sorry you feel so insecure in who you are. You have to project anger onto me because I'm doing something that invokes that within you. But anyways, in stage 2 of abandonment, you just come to acceptance of, okay, I really decipher the ideologies I subscribe to. I really am in full control of my thoughts and actions and not others, and there is no divine manuscript on how to function as a human. It's just exist. It's just wake up every day and see what that day holds. And that leads to stage 3, despair. The understanding that you can only rely on yourself at the end of the day. Your guidance is determined by your free will, what actions and ideologies you invest in. And it's the recognition of just total responsibility for the world and the choices you make. Every ideology, every choice, every word you speak or invoke, everything you believe that makes you you, you also help others believe. And that's why the friends you keep and surround yourself with are so important, because you want to surround yourself with individuals that challenge you and like push you to grow healthily, but like-minded individuals that are rooted in carrying forth goodwill or spreading positivity, being beacons of peace, rather than people that just want to spew fear, hatred, and anger. I don't want that. In Existentialism Humanism, basically John Paul Sartre talks about how we are God in a way. I'm not claiming in this moment I am God, because again, I don't have full control over time, who, what, when, where, and that. But I do have control over my perception and what I allow to control me versus what I allow not to. And I think the greatest example of this can be on a government scale. Think about it. We, as humans, live in societies that have governments, and these governments make laws, and laws are enforced. If you break them, there's a penalty, or so it's said. If you're never caught for breaking it, are you punished? That's to be debated or discoursed. But I could wake up today or tomorrow and decide I want to go light 100 trees on fire. Or I could wake up tomorrow and decide I want to plant 100 trees. Either or are entirely possible, because I have free will and no one is going to stop me. I very well could successfully go light 100 trees on fire and I wouldn't be stopped until after I had done so. Or I very well tomorrow could just go and become the Lorax and plant 100 trees and then preach about air quality and how tweed giveth oxygen, save the tweed. So there is no being or entity that entirely controls you. You have full control over your reality and who you are as an individual. To go a step further, as long as you believe that you are untouchable to anyone and anything, and by untouchable, I mean you are divinely protected, no one and nothing can hurt you. People can throw 100 darts at you and they're gonna ping in thousands of different directions. And I think that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. As long as you believe you're divinely protected, no one can challenge that. Or there is no individual who can go light 10,000 candles and then say, prove me otherwise, because they're just, again, shooting 10,000 darts at you. And if you have I'm the unmovable object, I'm the unshakable force, they're not going to be able to shake you. Now, I'm not saying you won't go through traumatic or challenging times in your life, but take comfort in knowing that no one can harm you physically, spiritually, or mentally unless you give them the power to. Just want to do some housekeeping. What I mean by no one can spiritually, mentally, physically hurt you, regardless of what trauma you go through, you can be the alchemist and take that trauma, take the pain, take the grief, take the anger, and alchemize it into fueling you to be a better person, to help more people, to be more a beacon of love, to be an advocate for those in positions of injustice. As long as you alchemize and choose love and light, no one and nothing can touch you. You aren't giving them your power, your autonomy. And that's what I meant by that. I can't let you. Because you hold the power. All of it, baby. So, if I can give you any peace, you don't have to pay that psychic or that witch or the tarot reader or whatever, the shaman, to do a certain ritual to free you more. That's just not the case. And I'm not saying energy healers and shamans and medicine workers don't have a purpose in this world. They definitely do. And if your soul feels called to one, definitely listen to your soul and that calling. I've gone to energy workers and had spirit work done because I believe it's helped me in leveling up and reaching my highest potential. But I've also taken a step back and acknowledged I hold all the power. Like, I can meditate at the end of the day and do yoga and do various things that feed back my power to me, and I don't have to seek it from an outside force because I am in full control of my reality. But shout out all my energy workers, my shamans, my yogis, my medicine healers. Your purpose is to help us individuals seek community and find aid and reassurance in the divine. So if you feel called to go to one, please go to one. It will change your life. A little key, if I can give you any, as I've said earlier, no thought leaves its source. Sometimes you're hit with scary thoughts. Sometimes, I think my greatest example is I'll be driving and I get the vision of me going in a car crash, and I can acknowledge that's not my thought. That's, I don't desire to crash when I'm driving. I'm not seeking to get in multiple wrecks. I want to be a safe driver. So whenever you feel a thought and it doesn't feel yours or it feels foreign, I'll give you two keys to snipe it out of existence. One being, I do not claim that energy returned to sender tenfold, because I do believe a lot of those times you get a download of someone else's envy of you or jealousy or a ill wish. So return it to its sender. And then the second prayer you can say when you feel a thought is foreign to you and it just isn't something that you feel was wished on you or so forth, is clean, clear, delete. Ooh, I didn't like that thought. Clean, clear, delete. I don't claim it. And if it feels like it keeps bugging in, that's when I'd say you say the first prayer of, ooh, I don't claim that energy, return to sender. Because I promise you guys, the universe is always talking. It's just a matter of how tuned in, how much are you listening. And there's so many ways. So, why is my Pisces dog barking at midnight? Hi, Hades, thank you. Hades said, preach, baby, preach. If any, spoiler, I'm a universalist, I'm a deist. I identify as our founding fathers, Dad. I'm a deist. And fun fact, the majority of the founding fathers were deists, not Protestants. Oh my god, that's such a tangent for another day. I'll make a video on that another time, as you're a theologian. But those are two prayers you can say to release the negative ideologies that in which trap you, because, like I said again, no thought leaves its source, so send it back, send it to its source, and then just claim away that you are divinely favored, guided, protected, and provided for. And I promise you, that will manifest tenfold in your reality. I have been saying that prayer the past, 6-7 months now, and it is insane how much my life has changed. Though this takes me further into the soapbox preaching of be careful what you pray for, because that's the spells you're casting and invoking not only on yourself and others, but when you start praying for healing, to be healed, when you start praying to be led into your purpose and your vocation, when you start praying for peace and for guidance, a lot of individuals that liked you in despair or liked you in anguish, liked to have control of you, will either fall away and good, trash took itself out, or they will get real angry and try and fight for control over you. And those that get angry, release them. They're not on your healing journey, and you are either meant to be the individual that inspires them to be on their healing journey, or you walk away and just know some individuals are never meant to have a faith and meet God, and that's their karma in this life. And that's not your burden to carry. You can only be an influence to people. You can never be a puppeteer. And that's essentially the whole summary. That's the spark notes of existentialism as a humanism. Sartre was atheistic though. Atheistic, agnostic, I forget, but he did not believe in God, which fair, valid. I think atheists have just as much validity as those that are spiritual or religious. It's a very fascinating mindset to me, and it's never one that I'm gonna be like, you're wrong. But as an individual who has a great, I feel, spiritual faith, I have a great faith and there is a divine, and I'm a universalistic deist, as I said. And studying world religions, I feel it is very ignorant for me to ever say I am a part of just one, because at the end of the day, we all are describing the same thing, we just have a different word for it. And that is the beauty of cultures, is there are so many different understandings of the same being, God. But it's universally agreed that God is love. And that's why I truly believe at the end of the day, heaven or the afterlife is just love, because this is hell. This earth is hell. And to quote Edward V. Taylor, I want to make sure, let me get out my scroll. Edward V. Tyler, magic appears to never fail. That is so true. Magic is everywhere. Magic is your ideologies. Magic is the words you speak. It's the thoughts you think. And it's your behavior, the way you act and show up in this world. So I hope to be an individual that just inspires peace and positivity. And if I can give you one final prayer to say, and this will also be a prayer that isolates you, because it's a prayer of healing, but don't let isolation scare you, because you will always be guided to people that will uplift. Okay, anyways, the prayer is, please let me lead in love, walk in faith, and only seek truth and clarity, and you will succeed in everything that you do. I promise you that. Nothing is permanent. You own nothing in this world. You own nobody in this world. So, as my message always is, let everything be a lesson of love. And by that, let everything just teach you how to love yourself more and love others and forgive others. Forgive, but not forget. Forgive and forbade. Just turn the other cheek as Jesus preaches. Sometimes there are people down here and they hurt you, and they're supposed to lead you to people up here, and then you are supposed to let them go and meet people up here, and so forth. I hope that made sense. Everyone is just supposed to be a mirror, a catalyst, or mimicker, as I talked in my last video, and teach you more about yourself. And if they are fated for you, they will never leave you, they will never pass you, or they will come back. I promise you, if they're fated for you, they will come back. And if they just go ghost, trash took itself out. Let those people go. Some people's karma in this life is genuinely to have no faith and never know God the way you do. And that's not your burden to carry. That's their burden. That's the beautiful thing about people, is that people are not disposable. I mean, everyone is actively teaching you something about yourself. And even if you throw someone out, the doppelganger will come in. I think that's my tangent on that. I hope to become a master spellcaster, a master prayer warrior, as others would say. I'm sorry if this book is only going to teach you the different types of ideologies that people held from the antiquity to the Enlightenment era. And the Enlightenment era ended right as America was born. So that's partially why our founding fathers were deists. But that's another story, Hannah. You don't need to go down that theological tangent. because then I'm just going to deep dive into the First Amendment and the Free Establishment Clause. And then go on my tangent about how we live in a Judeo-Christian society in America that's also equally run and fueled by Greco-Roman thinking, and how that's just so paradoxical because the Greco-Romans were polytheistic and the ideologies from the Judeo-Christian society are all rooted in 4000 BCE Sumerian ideologies. Let me mug real quick. Can I remind you that I'm a model and an actress? I'll go down that tangent later, but that's when I'm going to be dissecting my Bible, aka The Goddesses by Joseph Campbell, and I strongly believe I am him reincarnated to an extent, or at least that homie is just speaking through me constantly, because when I say this is my Bible, this is my Bible. This whole book is my Bible. Any lovies, I'm so glad I was able to this knowledge to you today. I hope it helped someone out there, and I look forward to next week's video. I'm going to build a little more on building your coven, finding your community, and how the universe is always talking to you. It is. There are so many signs and ways that God and the divine are always talking to us and guiding us, and I really want to break those down, but I don't feel like it should be in this video. This video was meant to just free you or introduce you to free will and give you more of the power in your story, because we are the creators of our reality. Whatever we think, speak, and how we behave does manifest into the circumstances and situations and individuals we are met with, and we are co-creator with the divine. We have no control over time and the who, what, when, wheres, but we are God incarnate. We are God's creation, and why would God not want to be a part of its creation? Notice how I say it's, because again, the divine is both male and feminine, male and female. Yeah, but I look forward to talking to you guys more in next week's video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. Blessed be angel. And je t'aime. Bisous, bisous. Au revoir. Abonne-toi. I love you.